Most producers stay stuck. Unfinished tracks, YouTube tutorials, zero progress, but this is the full roadmap to going pro. Even if you are broke and busy as hell. I've released over 70 songs, DJ'd worldwide, and my songs have hundreds, thousands of streams. So watch this full screen, no distractions, because this video might change the trajectory of your year. If you are still not sure about what music to make, here are different subgenres. So Neurofunk is dark, techy, aggressive. Think about Noisia, Matthews, American, then there is Liquid DNB, smooth, emotional, atmospheric. Think about Netsky, Calibre, Jump Up, which is heavy, bouncy, club driven, can be dark, can be happy. Think about Serum, Headaches, Mickey G. Then there is Rollers or Deep. Think about hypnotic grooves and very minimalistic sounds like Break, Alex Perez, KZB. Then there is Halftime, which is slow, futuristic vibes. Think about Ivy Lab, Shades. Your action step is to go through your playlist, pick your top 5 tunes and listen to 5 to 10 tracks and note what resonates, what you like about those songs. You wanna reverse engineer your favorites, so think about what do you love about those songs. Is it drums, bass, energy, mix, the vibe of the song? Then pick 5 tracks from playlists that you have on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and you wanna analyze the structure of those songs. You wanna analyze drums and bass and really carefully listen to what sounds you are hearing. What really helped me to get into understanding what sounds are used in the song, I try to listen to the song and I try to write down what I'm hearing. Even though you don't know how to describe the sound, in your own words try to describe what you are hearing. You know, some atmospheric pad or some froggy bass line or neuro bass which sounds like a robot. Just try to describe it, what you are hearing in each section. What helps me the most is take the track in my DAW and then I write down all of the sounds. If you don't have DAW yet, or if it sounds very hard for you, then you can do something like this, or you can just use pen and paper. You can draw sections of the track where you hear some changes like intro, build up, drop A, drop B, drop C, and breakdown, build up, drop, drop, drop. Then you can write down what sounds you are hearing. Then you want to create your own folder, which we can call sound sketchbook or sound palette. And there you put all of your samples, presets and FX, and you want to organize it by drums, bass, atmospheres, FX, everything that is in the songs that you would like to create. If you do this, then you will no longer need to search for the presets or sounds that you want. You will have folder with the sounds that are used in the genre or the songs that you would like to create, and you will no longer need to search for it somewhere, and you can easily create songs. Then you want to define your sonic identity. So is it dark or techy, melodic, emotional, raw, aggressive, or melodic but also aggressive, or emotional but also aggressive music with high energy, happy music that is also hard and heavy. Describe your sound in one sentence. So for example, high energy neurofunk with cinematic atmospheres and punchy drums, or mainstream songs with euphoric intros but heavy drops. So assuming that you already picked your DAW, if you are still not sure about what DAW to pick, then below this video you can find link for my free community where I have free course where I guide you what headphones you can pick, what monitors, what audio interface, what laptop do you need, what MIDI keyboard, what DAW, how to pick the DAW, then some free templates, free sample packs. This is really helpful and mainly like-minded people who can help you to get closer to your dreams. So mastering your DAW is very important and you don't need to overthink it. You don't need to know every button in the DAW. Here are the most important things that you need to know. So first of all, piano roll. There you write melodies, you create rhythm with basses. So I use Cubase, and in Cubase you can see the piano roll looks like this. In FL Studio, Ableton, it looks pretty similar. Here you can see the piano roll. Imagine this as if you play on MIDI keyboard. If you hold a note shortly, it looks like this. And if you hold a note for a long time, it looks like this. And you can even use this without any MIDI keyboard. But definitely with MIDI keyboard, it's much easier. Then you can create melodies like this. Or when you use synths like Serum or Vital, then it's much easier than using samples because you can draw rhythm. And now when we use short notes like this, it sounds like this. And that's that. So you can use piano roll for this. Then you want to understand how to work with samples. So chopping, time stretching, sliding, looping. So let's say I have some vocal sample. I can then take the sample. And first of all, the easiest thing that I can chop it up. So I can do very short loops like this. Then when you do these cuts, you also want to fade the sample so there are no clicks. But then another important thing is sliding. So in every DAW there is a shortcut where you can press two keys and you can move within the sample. Here you can see that I'm selecting specific part of the sample. And then you can create some very nice variations, for example like this. Or when your sample is out of your BPM, then you can time stretch the sample so it's a bit longer. Next we have automations. So automation, that's what creates tension and what makes your music interesting. So here you can see on the vocal, there you can see below each vocal there are some lines. That means that when I use some effect on the sound, so it sounds a little bit different. So let's say I take this effect on the vocal and here you can see what it does. So here I'm automating mix of this plugin. So when it's on 0, it doesn't work, and when it's on 100%, it works, and it creates like the stuttering effect. So you can see that here I created these lines, and you will hear when it's automating. You can really automate almost any parameter. Here you can see the tape stop. I wanna have this tape stop at the end of the phrase. So it's only here when it goes down. Or you can automate filtering, you can automate synthesizers like Serum or Vital. So here you can see I'm automating the resonance. You can really automate every parameter here. You can really get creative with this, and every DAW has a different way how to create an automation clip. So you can definitely find it, or you can ask in our community where the link is below this video. Next is rendering audio. And let's say you create some drum break, you take kick, snare, hi-hat, and you create a nice break from it, you use it in your songs, and you wanna learn how to render it so it's full loop, so you can use it next time. So let's say I have this drum break, which I created. It's a combination of using Serum or some samples, and it sounds like this. It's from, I don't know how many, but it's quite a lot of sounds. And if you want to save time and have your own samples and maybe later create a sample pack, then you want to learn how to render this into full loop. So for example, I take this, I select how I want to call it, and then I'm gonna hit render, and it's gonna create nice loop for me. And now you can see that it's only this loop which is now playing. There is definitely a lot of FX on my master channel, so it sounds like trash, but now I have loop which I can use in my other songs, and like that I can build my signature sound. Next very important thing is using a mixer. Mixer also looks in every DAW a little bit different. This is mixer in Cubase. All you really need to know about mixer is where you can put FX. So if you want to clean the sound or enhance the sound, so you need to find where you can apply the FX. And this fader is the most important thing, where you control the output volume of specific sound. Let's say I have 100 sounds in my song, and here you can see all of the sounds that are here. Each of them has its fader. So I can control volume with the fader, and here every DAW has this feature where you can put the sound to the left side or to the right side. Some DAWs have this meter where you can check peak or RMS level, so that you can see whether, if you have 5 different basses, whether they are at the same level. Next we have a loop section. Loop section is very important because when we are working on a specific part of song, we need to select a specific part then which we loop like this. And if we wouldn't have it, we would have to always go, then we would have to always like move on the position which we want to start from. So like this, every DAW has this timeline where you can just drag what section will loop. This way you can loop the section, which is really important. Next, basic tools like scissors, time stretch, mute, erase, and selection. So let's say I want to cut this sample in half. So first option is that I can move the sample from right or from left, and it's shorter, or I can take scissors and I can cut the sample where I want. If you want to be more precise, then you need to change whether you want to snap on grid. Every DAW has a feature to switch snap on grid or off. So like you can be very precise, or you can be on grid. You can see this grid, so it will go on the grid. And you can also change the grid size here. That's a very important thing that will help you to be more precise. When we cut this part, we can delete it or we can mute it. Maybe we could use it, maybe we could need it in future, so maybe we just mute it, and that way we can use it later and we can see how it was before. Then time stretching is when we want to make a sample longer, let's say like this, or faster. It's basically slow down or making it faster. Then eraser, that's easy. Next we have some shortcuts that are really important. First of all, we have copy paste, which is when we want to move a specific sample somewhere, we can just do Ctrl+C and move it here. Basically, where will be the cursor, there will be the paste. Then also duplicate, so in Cubase it's Ctrl+D, so it will paste next to the sample. Then we have zoom out when you want to see whole song, or zoom in if you want to see just specific part. And then undo and redo, which is Ctrl+Z or Ctrl+Shift+Z. Then using templates and presets to save time. So we can set up default project templates with folders and colors, so this is a huge time saver. Or we can use pre-made drum racks or synth presets. So here you can see that I already have my folders with drums, basses, synths, FX and vocal, and they also have its own mix bus, so I can then route it exactly to this track on a mixer. Then to work faster and to create songs faster and to not get stuck when getting ideas from your head into DAW, I like to use folders with my own presets. So here I have all of my basses, all of my synthetic drums, all of my synths, leads, and sometimes I even use the factory presets or some presets that I bought from someone else. It's much faster than if you create presets from scratch. So let's say I'm working on an idea and I feel like, oh, I could use this brass in intro. Instead of me sound designing it from scratch, I will just go into my presets and I will just find something. And I can use it right away. And maybe when the song needs it, I can just shape it a little bit and I can tweak some FX or some parameters. So we will learn what sounds can be used, what samples to use, how we can create simple beats with them, how we can use presets to create bass and melody, how to do full song structure, how to use a mixer, how to learn one synth so we can use presets, how to learn sound design, how to learn basic theory concepts like notes, scales, chords, learn how to write melodies, learn mixing basics, EQ, delay, reverb, sidechain, saturation, distortion, clipping, limiting, stereo field, automations, and basic mastering. So fundamental sounds in music. First of all, the most important thing which most of the producers start with are drums. Drums are sounds that can help us to found rhythm, to establish groove, and to really build foundation where we can build another sounds. So most important thing that you hear when the drop hits is, and the first thing that you hear is kick. What you can do is that you can also stop this video on this slide and you can listen to different sound on Splice or maybe on other free platform where you can listen to samples. So most important thing is kick, snare, hi-hat, clap, rim shot, shaker, rides, cymbals, toms, shuffle, percussion. So we will write kick. Then you know how it sounds. If you are still not sure, then go through all of them and really understand how the sound sounds. Then when you are really looking for something in your song, you don't have to be confused about what to use, but you will have internalized what sounds can you use and how they sound in your head. So this is snare. You can even specify the genre and some tops. These are toms. You can also go through this library and you can listen to all of these sounds and how the sound is described, because this is what you will try to find when you are looking for a specific sample. Next we have bass sounds, and here you can see the most used sound in drum and bass. So we have sub bass, saw bass, wobble bass, FM bass, Reese bass, pluck, step bass, narrow bass, growl bass. So we have sub bass. You can't probably hear it because it's a very clean sound, not so distorted. When it would be distorted, then we would take some distortion. And now maybe you can hear it clearly. And maybe if you are not on headphones and you have very small speakers, now you hear it better, but without this, you might have problems hearing it, because it's very low sound, around 40-50 Hertz. So this is sub bass. In Serum you can enable sub, or you can use just in basic shapes you can use this sine wave. Then we have saw bass, because it's made with saw wave and sub. So without sub, with sub. Then we have wobble bass. Then we have FM bass, which uses phase distortion. Then we have Reese bass. Then we have step, plucky bass. Then we have narrow bass. Then we have growl bass. For synth sound, we have saw lead, square lead, plucky lead, FM lead, vocal chop lead, synth brace, ARP, and sequence. You can find all of it in Serum or in Vital. You will just open up Serum, and when you go to Factory, here you can see all of the listed synth sounds which you can use for your intros, for some layers for your drops. And here you can see ARP, which is arpeggio. Then we have some lead sounds. can use it as a main sound where you put the main focus on this sound, and below this or beneath this sound you can put some bass, which is, you just need two sounds to make really powerful song. Then we have some plugs. Then we have some synth. But I would say synth is more like something which kind of evolves, like when you hold the notes for a little bit longer, it sounds a bit different after time. Or it just sounds like some synthesizer, you know. Then some soundscapes. And when you don't have Serum or Vital, you can also find it on Splice. So when we put here some soundscape, or you can write some pads. Then we have some atmospheric sounds, so the pads, strings, choir, soundscapes, drones, white noise. Again, you can find all of it in Serum, and when you can't find it in Serum or in Vital, then you can find it here on Splice. Another great site for this is Preset Share, where are some free presets. So let's say we are looking for some drone sounds. You can also look for it here, and here are different synthesizers, so like Serum 2, Serum 1, Vital, those are the main ones. Or some vocal chop. It can be just some kind of lead sound or synth sound that sounds like vocal. For FX sounds we have risers, downlifters, impacts, sweeps, glitches, laser sound effects, reverse sound effects, and vocal sound effects. So again, you can find it on Splice or here. So riser, usually I use it for creating tension before build-ups, before drop, and sometimes I have like 5 layers of risers before drop to really create a lot of tension. It can be something like reverse crash or white noise or sine wave. Then we have things like impact. I use this usually for intros, build-ups, not so often for drops. For drops I use crash for the, like, when the drop hits, it is like, it creates more impact. And some glitch effects. This is good for transitions. Then melodic sounds. If you want to create melody with something, then these sounds are perfect, like plugs, arpeggios, bells, piano, keys, guitar, reeds. We can listen to it on Splice because that's the fastest way how to show it to you. This is the reeds bass. Guitar melody. You can all of it find in Serum. Basically, when we go here, there's also some guitar, electric, acoustic, or some plucky sounds. It's good for intros, or it depends what subgenre of drum and bass are you making. Next, we have some textures and ambient sounds, so Foley, vinyl crackle, field recordings, atmospheric loops, or special sounds like laser shots, 808, clef, talkbox, vocoder, noise hits. You can find a lot of Foley and field recording sounds on Splice or on some other sites, but I really like this site called Zapslat, where you can find different sound from environment, you know, industrial, fantasy, science fiction, vehicle. Let's say we go into the science fiction. Here are some premium ones, but a lot of them are for free, which is amazing. This is great if you are looking to give more context into the song. So let's say I have a song that is called Airplane, but there is no airplane sound. So when I go here on this side, I just type airplane. And now I can put these sounds into my intro, and that way it's more like you are listening to the song, and now it's not only that the song is called Airplane, but you also hear airplanes, and you immediately feel like maybe you are in the airplane, and then the drop hits and there are turbulences, and you like better describe what is happening in your head. We can even find here some laser shots. You name it. It's really like Splice, Preset Chair, and Zapslat. These sites are amazing, and you can find most of the sounds there. When you download samples from these sites, then it's very simple to just put them into your DAW and experimenting with them, and you can create a whole song just using samples. But for me, it's not very easy to create variations, but you can get really creative with them. And you can chop the samples to create something interesting. You can use Slip tool. So with the samples, you can chop them like this. You know, it will sound like this. And then you can slip the sample. Within the sample, you can, when you hold a shortcut, you can move the sample like this within the waveform. And then you can loop this, and you can create very interesting phrases like. Then you can basically loop them, you can duplicate them. You can put very, very extreme effects, so it sounds completely different. And that way you can get more creative. Then what you can also do is that you can take them into your DAW's sampler. So FL Studio has Edison, or I think it's called SliceX. Cubase has this sampler where you just take the sample, you put it here. Ableton also have some sampler, and you just take the sampler and you can see. And I can also select loop mode. And like this you can make some difference with the sounds. And like this you can really build whole song using just samples. Then using presets to create bass and melody, which is what I prefer much more, because you can create any melody you want, you can use any presets and any synth you want. You have more freedom, it's a higher quality because you can tweak it until it's finished. You also have more options to manipulate the sounds, and also too many options can sometimes be difficult to really find something interesting and to get through creative blocks. So it can also be quite limiting, but with presets I'm then able to put them into patterns. I can record how I play the notes, and I can create rhythm like this, or I can make the note long so it will sound like. It's really much better than using samples in my opinion, mainly for basses and synths. I would use samples for drums, but definitely presets for things like basses, synths, leads, things for intro and for drop. You can see that now I also have more options. When I want to really change the sounds, then I can change wavetables, I can move with filters, I can move with effects, and I can tweak the sound so it fits the song better. And mainly I can play with the character, tone, length of the sound. I just prefer using presets and writing a MIDI so that I can be more melodic, and it allows me to be more creative basically. Then you need to learn how to do full song structures. So first we start by creating short loop to get the idea from our head inside the DAW. Then once we are happy with maybe 8 bars and we made some transition at the end of the 8 bars, we extend the loop into full 16 bars, and we can also make some transition at the end of the 16 bars, and then we can duplicate the 16 bars and add or remove elements to make it different or create contrast. You need to think about the energy, so maybe 1/16 bars is high energy, then second part of the drop a bit calmer with build up at the end, and then third 16 more energy, and the last 16 of drop maybe resting or maybe even more energy. It's really about being creative and really thinking about what do you prefer in your sets, what do you like to play. Then once you have drop, then you can duplicate the sections from the drop, and you can use the sounds from the drop or intro to create full structure. You can start with intro or you can start with drop. It's really personal preference, or maybe it can be every day different. You know, maybe today I feel a little bit like I want to chill, so maybe I start with intro and then I build drop from that. It's really up to you. And then once you have full song, make sure that there's intro, build up, drop, breakdown, build up, drop, and contrast between the sections. So maybe I start with this 4-bar idea. Then I'm kinda perfecting it, and I'm gonna duplicate it, and now I have 8 bars. You know, I add like this transition and at the end of 4 bars, and next transition at the end of 8 bars. So then I duplicate it, and I have full 16 bars, and you can see that here is the transition in the middle. And I try to make some slightly difference after 8 bars every time. You know, maybe I add new element, or maybe I do some automation after every 8 bars, so the listener don't get bored. And then at the end of 16 bars there is like a switch into the next part of the next 16 in the drop. And then I duplicate it, and you can start by duplicating the first section 4 times, and then you can maybe remove some elements, or you can add some elements. You can change the rhythm in each section, and like this I make 4/16 bars in a drop, maybe sometimes 3, sometimes 2. It really depends what the song needs. But for instance, here I can show you the switch. It evolves more melodically. And then third 16 of drop, there is also another difference. There's like complete switch. And then here, after 8 bars, it starts to build up, and it ends up in a next high energy drop, which is kind of similar to the first 16, but with slightly difference. This is first 16. And this is last 16 of my drop. Alright, then I try to add some build up, so I can build some tension for the drop, which is like 16 bars again, and I use drums, kick, some shuffle, and then a little bit of bass from the drop, and some risers, which it sounds like this. And then it drops, and then there is a longer vocal, which adds more tension. And then I try to think about how I feel from the drop, what I feel could work. I use some elements from the drop, I put it into intro, and I try to close my eyes and I try to visualize the melody. I try to visualize how the song could evolving. Hans Zimmer also do visualization before writing a song for movie, so I do it as well. Sometimes I do it even before I start with a song. Sometimes when I work on intros, I try to think about the drop and how the song could evolve, and then I add some, here I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 different layers for intro, so that there's like some chords, then there is pad, and then there is some melody. I can play it one by one. So these are some strings. We could call this some soundscape. Then this is, or maybe this could be soundscape. And then some melody. There are 2 layers of it. It's similar, but maybe panned a little bit to left, a little bit to right. Together it sounds like this. It's just complementary to build up and complementary to drop. So it doesn't sound like completely different 4 songs in one song. Then I have a breakdown, which you can see like when the last 16 of drop ends, there's like a second intro, but with a bit more energy or a new story kinda. Then there is another build up. And after 8 bars, it starts to building up the tension. And then there is a second drop where it's slightly different, and again a little bit of difference between sections, a little bit different than in the first drop. And this was the first drop. Second drop. I usually don't do outros, but I try to end it in a pleasant way somehow. That's it. No outros or anything. I just end it in some way. So this would be like a shortly explain how you can do it from loop into full structure. The more you do it, the faster and the better you will be. Then you need to learn how to use a mixer. So you want to add every sound on a mixer channel. Some DAWs do it automatically, Cubase can do it. FL Studio you have to do it manually, as far as I know, because I used FL Studio and it was a horrible experience for me when I had to do anything manually. Maybe there is some update where it gets on everything on the mixer automatically, but I don't know. Then you want to use volume faders to control output volume, to balance the mix, You can pan sounds to left or right for creating more space. You can add plugins on each level to clean, enhance, destroy, improve the sound. Then you can use buses to group multiple sounds into one channel and then process them at the same time. And then you can use FX tracks to add texture on multiple channels. So here you can see that here are all of my individual sounds. And with the faders, I'm balancing the volume. So first I start with kick, then I take my bass around it. I will explain it more in the mixing phase, but here you can see how I balance each individual element. And then these blue faders, those are buses. Here I have usually bass, drums, synths, FX, and vocals. And here I can put, let's say I have all of my basses, let's say I have 6 different basses, I put them on one same channel, so they don't go onto master output or stereo out, but they go, like all of the 8 basses go into the one channel where I can maybe put some sidechain on it, like Shaperbox, or some sidechain compressor like Pro C2. Then some of the elements I can pan them to left or to the right, some percussion or some synths, leads. Here you can see that the melody is a little bit to the left and one is a little bit to right. So it's not everything focused in the middle, but a little bit around the space. Then on the individual channels, I can add some FX to maybe clean up sides, or it really depends what I'm doing. I can enhance, or sometimes I use some EQ to clean the sound or enhance the sound, or some clippers to maybe don't clip on my channels. It really depends, but you can do it on individual channels or you can do it on the buses. Then another great thing is the FX sends or send tracks. So on these FX tracks you can put here some wider plugin, let's say, maybe some reverb, and then after that you can use EQ. Here I have I muted mids and I did this crazy EQ on sides. So when I have my bass, this is like what it adds. These FX tracks help me to like a layer on top of the original sound. It doesn't affect the original sound, but they help me to get like a layer on top of the original sound. Next, you wanna learn how to use synth like Vital, Serum, so you can use presets. You wanna start by using presets, then you can try to create some melody or rhythm with piano roll, and then you can learn how you can manipulate the synth in a way you want. So I recommend watching full masterclasses to really understand the synthesizer. When you search on YouTube, there are hundreds of videos and tens of full masterclasses which you can watch to understand the synth, and that way it will be easy for you to take preset and adjust it to your needs, and then later you can learn sound design once you are familiar with using presets. And then to make some difference and to create some tension, you can automate different parameters. Now you can see that now I have initial preset in Vital, and when I want to use it, I can take some of the presets I have here. I can take some presets from Vital. You don't need to know what each parameter here does. You are good when you just know that this is like speed, these are oscillators, those they produce the sound, and here you have FX, and that's the foundation. And then once you are more advanced, then you can tweak with the speed. You can shape the sound with LFO, and you can change wavetables, you can use filters, etc. So really watch some full masterclass on this. I also have on my channel if you want, and that way you will know what to do here. Then for Serum it's the same. You want to understand what everything here does, how to use the filters, how to use oscillators, how to select wavetables, how to use FX, how to automate different parameters, how to use LFOs, and different functions that can help you to create some nice song. Once you know how to use the synth, and also you don't necessarily need to know everything about the synth, but let's say you already have some basics, then I recommend learning sound design, because in drum and bass you can get really unique when you have unique sound design, and it can be your big advantage when not only that you can create nice melodies, you are good in arrangement, but you also have unique sound design which differentiate yourself from the competitors or from other producers. So I really recommend learning sound design, even if it seems like it's a very hard topic. It's very easy if you do the action step to which I'll explain a bit, but you wanna understand some basics like wrist bass, how to make step bass, how to make 808, how to create your own synth, and it's good to find some presets that you like and then replicating them with two synths open next to each other, and then once you try this, you try by yourself without looking at the reference preset, and I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So let's say I will use Serum as an example. When your screen is too small, you can change the size, so there can be two Serums. Now Serum 2 is pretty big, but you can open up two Serums like this. Maybe that's too small, and then here I'm gonna take some preset, and now you see here is filter, okay, here is default shapes, and then you want to watch for the settings that are there, and like this you construct the preset from scratch, and then you can go to FX and do the same. If you do this multiple times and try without watching the preset, then like this you can learn maybe just one preset a day, and that is really something that can change how you think about sounds, and it can really make you unique. So action step: practice daily, creating at least 1 to 3 presets, depends how much time do you have. Then you want to learn basic music theory concepts. So notes are the things that you can see on a MIDI keyboard. We have, even if it seems like there is a lot of notes, here you can see my keyboard, or it's a digital piano, where it's 88 keys, and all of these keys, they are not all of them different. This is C1, let's say, and then when you go 12 notes up, then you have C2. So you have always 12 notes, and they just go up because they you can hear them higher. These two notes are same note. So that's just to understand what notes are. We have C, F, G, A, B, C, and then we have black notes. The black notes above each key, you can see it as a hashtag. I will show you in my DAW, so you can see how does it look like. So you can see now that this is what I was talking about. Here you have C1, C2, C3, C4. You can see all of these notes. When the black note is above the key, it's always the key which is below the black note, but with hashtag. So here is C, and the black note is above the C, so you can see there is a hashtag, so it's C sharp. Then you have D, and then you have D sharp. And like this, you can see that these notes will be now always the same when I put them up. If you are not sure how to find the keys, then you can select view of your keyboard as to show you all of the note names. I don't know how to do it in Cubase, and I've never need to use that because I played keyboard when I was young. But you can find it in your DAW, like keyboard, view, or when you right click the key, maybe there's like a show view note names or something like that. So music is made of notes, you know, A, B, C. Higher notes sound brighter, lower sounds deeper. So we then use notes to create some melodies. You can draw some melody with these notes, or you can play with notes on keyboard or here in piano roll. So that's for that. That's what creates music. Then we have scales. Scale is set of tones that sound good together. Major scales feel happy and minor scales feel dark. So scale is like a palette of colors that you use to draw, but we have different scales which we can use, and I'm gonna show you how you can use it without memorizing all of the scales. Most of the DAWs have scale assistant. We have a song in F, and then here you can select scale. So I'm gonna put here F major, and then I'm gonna show scale note guides, and you will see that now there are like white lines, and those are the spots where I can insert the notes. So now it will be now all of the notes that will be here, they will be in F major scale. Now you have like a selection of notes, and the way you can use it is that now you know what notes are here. So now you can create some melody maybe. It's basically, if you use notes from scale, it should always sound good. And of course, the scales are something that you can use just for inspiration, you know? You can say like, today I will make song in F Lydian scale. So you will take the notes from there, but then you try and maybe you move one note that isn't in the scale, and now you are a bit afraid that you can't use the notes from scale, but that's music. Music has no rules. Music theory is just theory. So if you feel like you like the note outside of scale, then definitely use it. You know, this G sharp isn't in the scale and it sounds kinda good. We can also try the La. Something like that. Then we can try something like Chinese. So this is F Chinese scale. And immediately you have Chinese song, which is crazy. This is like a palette of colors, you know, as you have specific type of colors to create specific type of picture. You have these scales, which is just set of notes that you can use to create songs. Then we have chords. Chord is when you play multiple notes at once. Chords create emotion in music. So this is chord, and you can have 3 notes together like this, or 5 notes together, or 7 notes together, or 9 notes together. It depends how it sounds. I usually use chords for my intros, maybe for build-ups, sometimes for drop transitions, and you can easily create chord like this. You just take one note and then like you put it like this. There are some shortcuts for this. Let's say I want to create C major chord, then If I want to create a major chord, then I have C, and then I go 4 notes up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go 3 notes up. 1, 2, 3, and I have major chord. This is major chord, and if I want to change it to minor, then I just move the middle note. So this is minor chord, and this is major chord. It feels very low, maybe I can put it up. Yeah, that feels better, but this is a bit more sad, and this is happier. And then you can also invert the notes, so you can go up, or you can invert middle note, and you can really experiment a lot. So this is chord, and then when you have set of chords going in specific sequence, that's called chord progression. So this is chord progression. And there are different chord progressions that maybe one chord progression is used in 300 different songs. You can find it on YouTube, just search common chord progressions. How I learned writing chord progressions was that I tried to create one chord progression a day. First, it's really difficult, but after 1 month, it is really second nature. So it's just practice, practice, practice. And then in combination with chord progressions and with chords, you can use melody. You can use notes from the chord. You can even use notes that aren't in the chord, and then together it sounds like this. Then we have intervals, that is the space between two notes. Some sound smooth, some sound tense. So interval is basically distance between two notes. You can probably recognize specific intervals when I play one song. It's from Star Wars. This is a fifth interval because I go 5 notes up and then it evolves. So this is Star Wars, and you can recognize some melodies already just by the first 2 notes, which is cool. You can also search common intervals on YouTube, and that way you will understand it better. Then we have key signatures. That's the home base of your song. It tells you which notes and chords will fit the best. For example, if your song is in C major, that means it mostly uses notes from the C major scale: C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Then you want to learn how to write melodies. So keep it simple first, because the more simple is the melody, the better you can remember it. And if you can hum it, others can remember it better. So if you create a melody and then you take a break for 1 hour and then you try to remember the melody and you try to hum it like and if you can't remember it, then you probably need to restructure the notes so it's more memorable. Then you want to repeat key phrases so they stick. You can use different repetition patterns, so like AAB, ABAC, ABAB, AAAA, AABA, AABC, AABB, ABBC. You can hear now I play ABAC. It's like this is first phrase, this is second phrase, which is different. This is again the first phrase, and this is second phrase, which is also different. Then we have ABAB. Then, for instance, AABA. Then AABC. really, you can experiment. Also, if you type in the Google melody repetition patterns, then you can get inspired pretty quickly. Use higher notes for excitement, lower notes to resolve. Good melody has a rise and fall like a conversation. You can think of some feeling or story before you write, and you can let the melody reflect the mood, whether happy, sad, mysterious, or energetic. You can use call and response to tell a story. So let's say you have a melody, it can be call and response with phrases of the melody, or it can be call and response with one sound and second sound, or one sound and two other sounds. You know, one person is in the room, second person is in the room, and they talk to each other, and like this you can tell the story. You know, let's listen to the melody. Think of it as a question and answer. So this first will be question, then shortly answer, then again question, and then another answer. You get it? Like, this is the question, this is the answer, and like this you can tell some story. What I like to do when I'm writing melodies is that I take some basic sound like piano or just basic synth that isn't that epic, and then I'm not so influenced about how epic the synth sounds, and I try to create melody that sounds good even on just the basic sound like piano. And then when you use some synth, it will sound even better because it will be more epic, more euphoric, and you can give more feeling to the melody. Then we have EQ. EQ is a tool that I probably use the most in my production, even more than Serum. EQ is shortly for equalizer. It's a tool that lets you change the volume of specific frequencies in a sound. You can imagine sound like a rainbow of frequencies, from deep bass to high treble. EQ helps you shape the sound, so you can boost what you want to hear more clearly and cut what sounds muddy, harsh, or unnecessary. We need EQ because of clarity. You make sure each sound has its own space in the mix, or to clean up, where you can remove unwanted rumble, matte, or harshness. We can use it also for tone shaping, so you can change the character of a sound, so make it warmer, brighter, etc. And to make sounds fit together. It can help sounds blend or stand out. So let's say we can make vocals pop or bass sit well under drums. Most popular types of EQ, parametric EQ, you probably know FabFilter Pro Q4, then in FL Studio EQ2, then in Ableton EQ8, or free EQ TDR Nova. It's flexible and precise. You can really shape the sound as you want, and it lets you control frequency, gain, which is like volume of the frequency, and Q, which is width of adjustment. Then we also have graphic EQ. There you have fixed frequency bands with sliders, like on DJ mixers. It's great for fast tweaks, but less precise. It's usually used in mixing and mastering. And some tips for using EQ. You wanna start by cutting, not by boosting. So removing bad frequencies often sounds better than boosting good ones. Use your ears and eyes, and you wanna use spectrum analyzers to spot problem areas, but always trust your ears first. You wanna solo, then check in the mix. EQ a sound alone, but always adjust based on how it fits with everything else. You can high pass when needed, remove low end from sounds that don't need it, pads, vocals, synths to clean up the mix, but don't do it don't create a habit of creating high pass or aka low cut everywhere, because some sounds good even though there is some low end. Some sounds actually sound better when there is some low end, so don't do it automatically, only when it's needed. And don't overdo EQ. When it comes to mixing, subtle changes like 1 or 3 dB are usually enough. Same for mastering. Too much EQ can ruin the natural tone, Sometimes I use EQ for shaping my sounds in a sound design. So sometimes in sound design you can definitely see huge boosts or huge cuts or with peaks because it shapes the sound, it changes the character, and in drum and bass it's very popular to shape the sounds with EQ and to create really weird shapes to create interesting sounds. We also have shelving EQ, which boosts or cuts everything above or below a certain point. It's good for general tone shaping like brighten highs or reduce lows. And then we have high pass or low pass filters. This can be sometimes confusing because you also have low cut and high cut, and it's exactly opposite. So high pass means low cut and low pass means high cut. High pass removes low frequencies, is useful on vocals, FX, pads, on certain drums, it really depends. So it's useful on sub bass or some background sounds that have harsh high frequencies. This is how it sounds without EQ. And with EQ. I do this because I also have their very aggressive bass. If I play it in context, you will understand this. And without. This low end was not necessary in the sound, so I cut it off. And then I cleaned a bit of mids and a bit of highs. Then in this example I use snare layer, I use noise. So I tamed the highs, I turned up 2 dBs around 3000 Hertz, and I cut off the low frequencies. And when I play this together, again without EQ, I just cleaned the sound so it's not so annoying, and so it fits perfectly to the other layers. Here with the EQ I'm cutting low frequencies from my sides. That's a more advanced feature of this EQ. Then another example how I use EQ is for automations. So in this case I have this Psytrance bass which sounds like this. And there is also automation on the individual channel. It sounds like this. It's opening the sound. And this is done by creating automation clip for this parameter and for this parameter. Then I have like 4 different layers of synth, which sounds like this. And each individual layer is EQ'd differently. You know, I removed highs and lows. And then I shaped each layer differently. Next we have delay. Delay is the effect that makes your songs sound professional. Delay is an effect that records your sound and plays it back later, like an echo. It can repeat once, multiple times, or even endlessly until it fades out. It adds depth and space to your mix. It creates rhythm, like bouncing delays in vocals or synths. It makes sounds more interesting and atmospheric. It can make a simple sound feel wide, dreamy, or energetic. I will show example in a bit. But we have some popular types of delay like simple mono delay, which is basic echo, same in both speakers, good for quick effects or layering. Then we have ping pong delay. There is echo bounces from left to right between speakers. It can add width and movement. Then we have stereo delay. There are different delay times on left and right channels. It creates wide stereo image. And then we have tape delay, which is warmer vintage sound, slight pitch wobble or distortion for character. And then we have multi-tap delay, where are several repeats with different timing, which is great for rhythmic patterns or complex textures. Some tips for using delay: you wanna sync it to BPM and then set delay time to quarter note, 8 notes, 16 notes to fit your track's rhythm. Then you also want to high pass or low pass filter on delay. You wanna remove low end or high end from the delayed signal to avoid math or to avoid harshness. Then you wanna use feedback carefully because that's how long the echo repeats. More feedback, more repeats. So you wanna keep it low to avoid chaos. And you can automate delay sends, so you can apply delay only on certain words, hits or moments, which is great for vocals. And then combine it with reverb, so delay adds bounce, reverb adds space, and together they are magic. Usually I like to put delay first, and then after that I like to put my reverb. You can find delay even here in Serum FX. Here is a normal delay when I play sound. You can hear the echoes repeating. Here I can select how loud is the echoes, feedback, how long I can hear the echoes. Here I can select the tempo of left or right side, and here I can select whether I have ping pong, tap delay, or something else. So my favorite delay plugin is EchoBoy Junior or EchoBoy, and here you can see the echo time. So here is feedback. I can do it even very short, or I can do it very quick. And then I can select if I want ping pong. And here I can do low cut and high cut. And I can select type of delay. Then my song immediately feels like it's not so dry, it's a bit wider, and I usually use it for my synth sounds or for some percussions or for vocals.
Concentrate, 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 concentrate.
It's very small detail, but it's a little bit wider, and you can even use multiple delays on one single sound. Next we have reverb. Reverb is the sound of space. It's what happens when sound bounces off walls and reflects back to your ears. Think of clapping in bathroom versus in cathedral. Can you imagine the sound? You know, the space when you it's not like echo, but everything is like you are in large hall or in large space. So why use reverb? It creates a sense of space and depth in your mix. It makes digital sounds feel more natural or emotional, and it glues sounds together so they feel like they are in the same room. Some reverb tips: less is more. Too much reverb can make your mix muddy or washy, and use high pass and low pass filters, so cut lows and highs from the reverb to keep it clean. Short reverb for drums, longer reverb for pads, vocals, atmospheres. I also like to use short reverb for my bass. I don't put it on my sub, but only like on mids and highs. Then pre-delay, which is short pause before the reverb starts, keeps the sound clear and upfront. And don't put reverb on the whole mix. Use it on individual sounds or through a send or return track, or in Cubase I have FX tracks. So here I have this futuristic synth. Without my reverb, it will sound like this. There is just delay in the Serum, but here I add Raum, which is a nice free reverb. There is immediately more space and it's not so dry. Then I have this plucky synth where I use Valhalla Room without and with. It's more emotional and again wider, and it feels like there's more depth in the mix. You don't need to put the mix on reverb on 100% because it will sound very muddy and really muffled. You can use just even 10% is 100%. But if you use
Concentrate.
10%,
Concentrate. Concentrate.
it's very small detail that can add professional quality to your mixes. Then another example how I use reverb. In this example, I use it as a FX send. I use Valhalla Room for it, and it sounds like this.
I've waited all my life for you. I need your touch to pull me through.
And without.
I've waited all my life for you. I need your touch to pull me through. I've waited all my.
It was pretty dry, and with the reverb, it feels like there's more space. It's more pleasant for me. Another example how I use reverb again as a FX send is on bass. I have this bass, like I call it bass answer, which is like a answer for this question when we talk about call and response. So again, this is with, and this is without. When I use the FX track or send track, I can use multiple FX on it. So here I cut off completely the mid frequencies and I kept only sides. And when I talk about the parallel processing or like the FX tracks, FX sends on the reverb vocal, I used it's called reverb compression. So when the vocal is playing, it triggers the compressor and the vocal stays clean. But at the moment when the vocal stops, you can hear the reverb, which in result you can hear that it's much cleaner and it's not overcomplicated with the reverb. Then we have sidechaining. Sidechaining is when one sound controls the volume of another. In drum and bass, it's usually the kick drum or snare that ducks the volume of the bass or other sounds, so the drums can punch through the mix clearly. Think of it like kick hits, bass quickly ducks down, comes back up. The result is cleaner and punchier mix. And why to use sidechain in drum and bass? Because it keeps the kick and snare punchy without fighting the bass, and it prevents muddy low end by making space. It adds rhythm and movement to pads or atmospheres, and it can create cool pumping effect, especially in liquid drum and bass or EDM style intros. You can also use multi-band sidechain to duck only the low end, not the entire sound. You can also sidechain both kick and snare if they are clashing with sub or wrist bass, and you can use volume shapers like Shaperbox, LFO Tool, Kickstart for tighter control. You don't have to do it manually, but you can. If you don't have the plugins, you can just create automation on some utility or volume plugin, and you can create space just for kick and snare. It's a manual work, quite difficult, but you can totally do it for free. With the volume shapers or even with the automation clip, you can customize the curve. You don't have to use classic EDM pump. In DMB, subtle and fast is often better. Then sidechain FX, pads, leads, if they clutter the transient space. I also sidechain my like hi-hats and percussion, cymbals, crashes, everything that is in contact with my kick and snare transients basically. So the way I use sidechain first of all is in my basses, and here is my bass group and here is my bass bus, and I use Shaperbox volume shaper. I use two of them, one for snare. This is the gap for snare and this is gap for kick. When I play the song, you will see where is kick and where is a snare. And now I play without the sidechain. And you can hear that it's much punchier, more aggressive. And also what you can do in Shaperbox is you can select what curve is in lows and mids and what curve is on highs. I want to have clear low end, but I want to hear a little bit of my kick in the mids and highs, so I can create a curve like this, and it will only cut the space like in the middle, so that way you can be more precise with it. Another example where I use sidechain is with EQ or multiband compressor, but in this case you can see that I'm sidechaining vocal, and here I'm using the dynamics on FFFilter Pro Q4, and here when there is a vocal at the same time as a bass, which is right here or right here. So now I'm gonna play it with the sidechain. Here is actually spectral sidechain, not dynamic, but spectral. The result of this is that we can hear the vocal clearly. Now I'm gonna turn off the sidechain. It's very subtle difference, but without it, the vocal feels lost in the high frequencies. So once again. And I think I'm using another EQ here for melody. It just clears the space in the bass for the keys or for the lead, so it's not clashing together. Then we have saturation. Saturation is a type of gentle distortion that adds warmth, color, and character to sounds. It comes from the analog world, like tape, tubes, consoles. When signals were pushed a little too hard, they sounded better. Today we use saturation intentionally in digital mixing and sound design to make things sound richer and more alive. Why would you use saturation? So it adds harmonics, gives sounds more presence and energy. It adds harmonic frequencies that in a sound if they weren't there before. So it's really good. If you really want to color the sound, you know, it can go from warm and smooth to gritty and aggressive. It makes sounds stand out in the mix without just turning them up. And it thickens weak sounds, so it's perfect for thin drums or basses. You can use saturation in mixing or sound design. And in mixing, we can use it for bass lines. We can add saturation to make your sub more audible on small speakers. It adds upper harmonics. Drums, you can use it to add bite to snares or weight to kicks. You can use it for vocals or leads. It helps them to cut through the mix with more presence. And on whole mix bus, so you can use light saturation to glue the whole mix together. Using saturation in sound design, you can make rich basses or lead sound more grittier and alive, and you can stack multiple saturators for extreme effects. It's really cool. If you have different saturation plugins, I'm sure you have a lot of them. You can stack them on top of each other, and like this you can create really unique basses. However, sometimes less is better. You also want to combine filtering, distortion or modulation for evolving sounds. So maybe you can try EQ before saturation or EQ after saturation, and or maybe like some special filters to create unique sounds. You can try automating saturation amount for dynamic movement. You don't want to overdo saturation because too much saturation can sound harsh and destroy dynamics. And it's good to use parallel saturation, so you don't need to use like a 100% mix on the effect. You can blend the dry signal with the saturated one for control. And you can try soft clipping to tame peaks and add warmth at the same time. You can use tools like FabFilter Saturn, Soundtoys Decapitator, RC20, or Ableton Saturator, or a very great plugin in FL Studio or from Melda is Waveshaper, which adds a bit of saturation, or it can completely smack the sound. Here I use Decapitator, which has about, I don't know how much is it, but it's not 100% wet. It's like 20-30%, and it adds. We can listen what it does. It glues the brake together, and it's very subtle. There are some cool free plugins like G Saturation Plus, which can do the same as Decapitator. Here you can choose character of the saturation, whether you want to really have it clean or crispy. You can see that it's warmer, the tops are a bit brighter and a bit louder, and it really can glue the drum brake together. Then we have distortion. Distortion changes the shape of sound wave by pushing it too hard, adding grit, harmonics and energy. It can be used creatively or happen by accident, which is often bad, or sometimes good. Why would you use distortion on purpose? So it adds aggression and texture. It's perfect for reed basses, snares or effects, and it helps sounds cut through the mix without just turning them up. It turns boring sounds into something powerful, dirty or unique. It's great for resampling and layering during sound design. It's something like saturation, but much more extreme. Some popular types of distortion are overdrive, which is like warm analog style distortion, then clipping, hard digital distortion, adds crunch or destroys dynamics, bit crushing, lowers resolution, adds glitchy digital noise. I actually use it in the song, which we can see in a bit. Wave folding adds complex harmonics and folding of the waveform. And amp cabinet distortion simulates real hardware, big gritty tone. We also have unwanted distortion, which can happen during mixing or during sound design, and sometimes distortion happen accidentally and not in a good way. It can be clipping the master. If your mix peaks above 0 dB, it causes harsh digital clipping. Solution for this can be keeping your mix peaking around -6 dB before mastering, or before, if you do like mastering in the same project as you created the song. If you turn it up then with limiter, it will be really distorted. So you wanna create your mix so that is some headroom. Usually 6 dB is enough, and you can then push it with limiter without extreme distortion. Then overprocessing, stacking too many distortions or saturations can crush dynamics and introduce matte or harshness. For solution can be using EQ after distortion and avoid stacking unless you are doing it intentionally. Distortion on the wrong elements. Adding distortion to the sub bass or vocals without control can cause unwanted noise, phasing, or make the mix sound unclean. Solution: use multiband distortion or split processing. You can apply distortion only to mids, highs, and keep the sub clean. And bad gain staging. If your plugins receive too much input, they might distort unintentionally. Solution: keep gain levels control at each stage of your chain. So you can control it with input gain on each channel, or you can put there a utility plugin and you can turn it down so that you prevent clipping, which is going to the red. So how to use distortion in mixing? We can use it for bass lines. We can add distortion to mids, highs for extra grit, but keep the sub clean. Drums: make kicks, snares punchier or process breakbeats for an old school DnB crunch. Vocals, effects: add subtle or aggressive edge for emotion or energy. Parallel distortion: you can blend a distorted version with a clean one for more control. And how to use distortion in sound design? You can turn a clean synth into growling monster. You can resample, distort, filter, resample again, then automate drive, mix or tone for evolving sounds, and use distortion plus EQ plus stereo effects to shape your sound precisely. Some distortion tips: so you wanna use EQ after distortion. Like this, you remove added harshness or boominess. On the vocal, I used distortion. It's a Decapitator with extreme settings. This Punish it adds like 20 dB into the plugin, so it's distorted like hell. And when we turn off all of these plugins, it sounds like this. And now with all of these plugins, what I did is that after the distortion, I used EQ to cut some lows and to tame high frequencies and mids. And also after that, I added Soothe. So without the Soothe, it will sound like this. So it really removed the harshness. Now you will hear what it removed. Then you can use soft clipping for warmth, hard clipping for punch. Then you wanna use spectrum analyzers to see what frequencies are being added. And if your mix sounds harsh, check every track for unintentional distortion. So as I said, you can check your analyzer. I'm gonna use Span, which you can download for free. You can see that it added a lot of high frequencies that weren't there before. That way you can see what frequencies have been added or removed. Then in terms of the soft clipping on drums, when I use the clipper, you can see that here I have soft clip saturation, which isn't that extreme. Then we have hard clipper, which doesn't allow me to control the saturation. It's just hard clipping. Here with the standard clip, I need to use the clip to find the level where it starts to shave off the peaks. But with the soft clipper, I can actually adjust how much of the saturation have been added. When we talk about clipping, clipping happens when the audio signal is too loud and goes beyond the maximum level your system can handle, usually 0 dB. Instead of getting louder, the top of the waveform gets cut off, aka clipped, which creates distortion. Clipping equals distortion from too much volume, or it can also be technique to make things loud without going red. Distortion equals intentional waveform shaping, usually harsher. Saturation equals warm, gentle distortion, like analog gear. And when clipping is bad, if your master is clipping above 0 decibel full scale, digital distortion will occur. So this can sound harsh, unprofessional, and will hurt streaming platforms like Spotify, YouTube, where they adjust the loudness. It happens when levels aren't managed, but gain staging, you know, I started like that with many of my songs. I just had clipper on my master, and every individual channel was in red, and the result, I was able, like, the songs were pretty okay, you know, but they felt like they are flat and quite boring. Now what I do is that I put all of my faders down and I put them one by one up, and that way I make sure that I don't clip, and I also care about my input levels, so there is no clipping and I don't have enough headroom on my master to push it loud. So how to avoid clipping? You wanna keep your master around -6 dB before mastering. You can think of mastering in two ways. In drum and bass, lot of artists, even big names, they do mastering in the same project as they created the tune. That's the one way of doing mastering. Not necessarily applying any big chains on the master channel, but really taking care of individual channels and buses, so it sounds like it's mastered and ready to use. But there is also a mastering that is done in a separate project, where you apply processing on whole waveform already exported track, which is standard mastering. You can decide if you want to do it or not. You know, most of drum and bass producers do it in the same project. They just care about making the song sound good. I try to experiment, and sometimes I do it in the same project. Sometimes, well, let's say I work on EP, then I do mastering in separate project. Next thing how to avoid it is actually using a limiter at the end of your chain, or using a clipper. And watch for your plugin levels, so you don't want to overdrive them unless you want to, like with saturation or distortion. Clipping is good when you use it for like soft clipping on drums, which adds punch and warmth. Clipping transients can also make your track louder without squishing the dynamics like a compressor would. Some producers clip the kick or snare on purpose for that crunchy DnB and EDM sound. Tools like Saturator from Ableton, Waveshaper, or Standard Clip, Kazor K-Clip, FabFilter Pro L2 with clipping mode. You can use soft clipping before or after limiting to tame peaks naturally. I usually put clipper to cut off peaks, and after that I put limiter, and I have then more headroom to push the loudness higher, because there is more headroom and there is less distortion. And you can try clipping your kick slightly to help it punch through the mix. Then for aggressive bass lines in Neurofunk, Jump Up, a bit of clipping adds grit. And don't clip the master unintentionally. Always check final output levels and try to not be red on individual channels. Then we have limiting. And limiting is like a super strong compressor that stops your audio from going over a certain volume level, usually 0 dB. Think of it as a ceiling. Any sound that tries to go above the point get instantly squashed. So why do we use a limiter? It prevents clipping and distortion on the master. And with limiter you can increase perceived loudness, so it makes your track sound louder without breaking speakers. It controls peaks, like loud snare hits or kick taps. Essential in mastering, it's the final polish before release, and it also prevents going anything above 0. You wanna use limiter at the end of your master chain. It should be last plugin before export. And also don't squash too much. If the limiter is reducing more than 3 to 6 dB, check your mix balance. The numbers here, that's the gain reduction, and you don't want to go over -3, -6. That will be like too much distortion and the song will sound flat. For this example of this song, I use Isotope Maximizer, where I added like 12 dB of gain, and it's in a clipping mode. So without and with. You also want to keep headroom in your mix. So if you want to do mastering in separate project, it's recommended to bounce your mix at -6 dB before mastering, but honestly you can export it in -3, and then you can just clip down the waveform, like the input gain, so there is -6 dB headroom, and that's that. Then you want to use a metering plugin like Ulin Loudness Meter or Span or Isotope Insight. I use Isotope Insight, and then on the limiter you can set a ceiling -0.1 or -1 dB for safety, especially for YouTube and Spotify. So I use Isotope Insight, which will now show me the loudness. It's peaking around -5 dB, and LUFS is it's -17, and when I turn on the limiter, it's -5 LUFS. Neurofunk is usually -3 LUFS in the modern days, and this mix actually was -3 LUFS before I started to showing you some examples here, so I definitely will not save this project. Then we have stereo field. Stereo field is the left to right space in your mix. It's what makes music sound wide, full and 3D instead of flat and centered. Imagine putting your sounds on stage. Center are vocals, kick, snare, sub-bass, bass, and left-right are synths, FX, hi-hats, pads, and some background elements. Stereo field is important because it helps each sound have its own space. It creates a wider, more immersive mix, and it prevents sound from clashing in the center. It also makes your track sound bigger and more professional. Some basic tools for controlling stereo field. Panning, you can move sound left or right in the mix. Then stereo width or imaging plugins, you can widen or narrow sounds. For example, Ozone Imager, Wider or Ableton Utility for instance. Then a reverb, delay can spread sounds naturally in the stereo field. With delay you can use the ping pong, it goes from left to right. Then mid-side EQ, you can EQ the center and sides separately. As I showed you with the FEP filter, you can see that here I'm EQing only sides. So if I want to do something wider, I can boost it like this. Or here is the example of the wider plugin. This is free. It just makes the sound wider like this from mono to stereo. But sometimes it sounds like trash. So you need to try what sounds better for the sounds that you are working on. Then there is double tracking, chorus, has effect. Those tricks help mono sounds feel wide. You want to keep important low end in mono, like kick, sub bass. They should be center only. Then you want to pan heads, percussion, FX to add groove and space. And you can widen leads and pads, but also check in the mono to avoid phase issues. If you can't hear them in mono, there is probably some issue with phase. And you can use stereo meters like Span, Ozone Imager to see the width clearly. And you can test on headphones plus some mono speaker like on your phone or on your laptop to make sure nothing disappears. Making the bass stereo, it usually leads to muddy or weak low end, so you have to be very careful about making your low end clean and to not make your low end too wide in stereo. Sometimes around 100 Hz, 150 Hz, it sounds still good, but below 100 Hz, I usually try to keep my sub in mono. Then over widening can cause phase cancellation and weak mono compatibility. When you try to make some sounds too wide, you will probably lose the sounds when you listen to the song on some mono system like phone or maybe also in a club. And another mistake is spreading everything. Some sounds must stay centered for punch and power, and to make wide mixes you don't necessarily need to make everything wide, but maybe 2-3 elements that happen from time to time and they are really wide. It actually happens that you perceive the song as wide even though there are only few elements wide. Then we have automation. Automation is when you automatically change a setting over time. It lets your track evolve by controlling things like volume, filters, panning, effects without doing it manually. You draw or record these changes in your DAW and they play back with the track. We already showed this in the beginning. You wanna use automation because it adds movement and dynamics. It makes your music more interesting and emotional. It helps building energy in drops, risers and transitions. Gives you fine control over FX, mixing and arrangement. It can also be used in mastering when you want to lower the volume of intro and build-up to then the drop is perceived that is louder. Some common automation targets are volume. You can create fades, ducking or emphasis. You can use it on filter cutoff, so sweep into drops or breakdowns. Reverb, delay sense. You can add FX only on certain hits or phrases. Panning, you can move sounds across the stereo field. Distortion drive, you can make sounds more intense over time. Maybe part of drop can be really warm and then one part can be really dry, it's about contrast, so you can experiment. And then some tempo, pitch effects for creative breakdowns or build-ups. And you can really automate almost any parameter of your synths or VST effect. Some automation tips: so use automation clips or curves for smooth transitions between different sections or just between different parts of let's say your drop or intro. And you don't necessarily need to use just one, you can combine multiple automations, so you can use volume, filter, reverb for pro level builds. And always bypass an A/B test to make sure the automation improves the track and not destroy it. Then we have mixing basics, and this is what really is the foundation of good mix, and it's actually really easy. So you want to make sure that first of all you're happy with the arrangement. What I do and what I recommend is that mixing as separate phase helps avoid overwhelm and endless tweaking during production. You know, I also little bit mix during the production, but it's just like a little bit balancing volume or maybe like cleaning up the sounds so that I can vibe and I enjoy the song. But then once I'm happy with the arrangement, I say, okay, now I'm mixing, I save new version of project, and then I have a mixing mindset that now I balance, clean and everything, you know. So you want to get your levels right first. You don't necessarily need to use any effects, just get your levels right first. What I do that I save new version of project, I put all of my faders down and I start with kick. So what I do is that I set kick and snare at solid level first, often around -6 to -10 dB. Yeah, I have here 8 dB, but I realized that I usually start with -10. Sometimes when I balance it, it goes to -6, -10, -8. It really depends on the song. Then you want to balance bass next. It should hit hard but not overpower the drums. So I try to balance my kick and bass, and then I add other elements. So first of all, we want to use faders to mix before adding any effects and not plugins. And later, once we are happy with the volume balance, then we start to do EQing and we cut unwanted frequencies before boosting. So I usually make sure that everything is clean, there is no overpowering of one element to other, and everything is clean. Then what I usually do is I sidechain kick to bass to create space, and sidechain leads, pads, or even reverb to kick and snare for clarity. Sometimes I do it in the beginning when I feel like the kick and snare is lost, but it's really on the song, because sometimes the song doesn't need sidechain, so you don't necessarily need to have this as a rule of thumb to always have sidechain from start in your template. Sometimes it sounds good without sidechain. Then you can use saturation for thickness, so light saturation on drums and bass. Light saturation on drums and bass makes them punchier, and you can try parallel distortion on bass for more harmonics. Also, I try to keep sub-bass in mono for power, and spread hi-hats, synths, and FX for width, but don't overdo it again. And you want to check in mono to make sure nothing disappears. You can also do it with the panning or with some stereo widening plugins. Then reverb and delay for space or width. You want to compare your track with professional mixes at the same loudness. So you can use analyzer like Span, Ulean to check levels and frequency balance. Then when I see the reference song and I check the analyzer, so let's say I play my song now, I see the spectrum, but when I play some reference song, I can see where are my blank spots and where should I improve it. I don't follow it 100%, but at least I use it to refresh my ears and to see what can be improved. I don't try to match the reference song completely. So I can see now that I have a lot of space here in high frequencies and in the stereo width, so I can keep improving like this. And also I can see on the inside the loudness. yeah, so there's still stuff to do. Next up we have mastering. So mastering is the final step in music production. It's where you polish your finished mix to make it sound balanced, loud, and ready for release on all platforms. Think of it like putting a glossy finish on your track or just making the track louder. Mastering is important because it makes your track louder without clipping. It ensures your mix sounds balanced across all speakers, phones, cars, headphones, clubs, and it unifies your track with consistent tone and volume. Also, it prepares for streaming, distribution, and during mastering, you make sure that there are no clicks in the beginning and at the end, so you can create fades, and you can also lower the volume of intro and build up when there is too much energy. Then you can do it. You can do like automation clip to then have like your drop louder so that it feels like the drop is bigger. During mastering, you can use EQ to adjust the final frequency balance, to reduce harshness, add brightness. You can use compression to smooth out the dynamics slightly if needed. But if you can't hear compression, then rather don't do it. The saturation or harmonic exciting, you can add subtle warmth or presence. Then stereo imaging, you can widen the mix or tighten the low end, although I prefer stereo imaging individual channels rather than whole mix. So, and then limiting, making it loud while preventing clipping. And then metering, you want to check loudness, true peak, stereo balance. You want to check whether there aren't any unwanted clicks on left side, right side, in the middle, and you just make sure that everything is without mistakes, so that you can distribute it and you can send it to your label. Sometimes labels have their own mastering engineers. I release now by myself and I do mastering by myself. Sometimes I do it in the same project as I started the song, and sometimes I do mastering in separate projects. It really depends how I feel that I wanna do it. In this example, here is my track Monk, and here I do it in the same project. All I did here was putting a little glue compressor on my master. It does just a little bit of glue and a little bit of peak control, so it's a bit more punchy. And then here I have utility where I decreased 2 dB for the intro and build up, and then when it drops there is like the volume on 100%. And then as a final I have my Ozone 11 where I have EQ, where I a little bit decreased the lows, added a bit, it's like very tiny, it's like half dB, and this is like 0.8 dB, minus 0.8 dB, and here again just slight boost, 0.3, it's very subtle. Then here some transient processing, this is like a multiband compressor, here's dynamic EQ to control specific frequencies, and then final limiter where I have 0.1 minus 0.1 ceiling. It's just for safety, and here I added the gain up, and here you can select limiter mode. And if you're not sure how to master your song, then you can get suggestion from AI, and then you can adjust the tools that AI suggested to you, and that way like this you can release your own songs with your own masters. And this is the best way how to learn mastering. But to really hear the song as a mastering engineer, you should give yourself about at least 14 days to 1 month break from the song, so that you can zoom out and you don't focus on individual elements but on whole song. And this is really the easiest way how you can do the mastering. And if you don't want to do mastering by yourself, just do nice balanced mix for yourself and let the mastering process for some mastering engineer, or let it on mastering engineer of your label. If you are releasing music on label, then usually labels take care of mastering, and they have some mastering engineer, so you don't need to pay for it. So in mastering, you want to leave headroom in your mix. You can export it at -6, but as I said, in mastering, if you do it in a separate project, you can easily take the clip volume or like the input volume on the waveform and just put it down so that you have -6 dB. And you don't want to overcompress the song. You want to keep there some dynamics so that the song doesn't sound too flat. And you can use reference tracks to compare your master. And also, you want to master in neutral listening environment, so you can use some headphones plus reference tools like Sonderworks, so that you make sure that you hear the song exactly how it sounds without any coloration, or your room can also change how the song sounds. So you want to have really precise environment where you can listen, whether it's studio monitors or headphones. I usually work on headphones. You can use like AI mastering like Lander, which I never use, but it's there. Or you can use the Ozone AI or hire a pro. Some popular mastering tools: Ozone, it's all-in-one mastering suite. It's not that expensive for what it does. Then FabFilter Pro L2, which is like a powerful limiter with metering. Then Yulin loudness meter, it's free and detailed loudness info. Then I very often use Standard Clip or K-Clip for transparent loudness and soft clipping to make the song even louder. And tonal balance control, it can help match frequencies to professional mixes. So you can see that on my control channel I have this tonal balance control where I have some reference song, and here I have zone where I should be with my song. So in this example I may have too many highs, but when I listen to reference song, it has even more highs. So maybe I have wrong reference song in this case, but it's really for just looking at whether I'm not too much or whether I don't have too less of something. So plugins. You don't need to care that much about plugins to not overthink it. Your DAW already has awesome plugins. So you don't need thousands of dollars to make music. You can actually use plugins from your DAW, or you can use free alternatives to paid plugins that I'm about to show you. And little tip before you start to search for every plugin that is here. Below this video you can actually find this Notion template where I included all of the free tools that are worth having, and they are free alternatives of premium plugins. So below this video is free community, and there you can download these resources. So here we have EQ. This is Mac EQ4, and this is alternative Lufticus. It's a EQ that add a bit of character and coloration. It's like an analog EQ which you can use in mixing and mastering. And this is Pultec, and these are like the paid options, and those are free options. This is from Clive Audio. It's Vormi EP1A, and this is Slick EQ, which adds a bit of coloration, and it's usually good for boosting your audio and boosting your frequencies. Then we have our most popular FabFilter Pro Q4, which is the best EQ that I use. This is like the most used plugin after Serum 2. And then free alternative TDR Nova. Although it doesn't have that many options, it's really great free alternative because it also has the dynamic processing as the Pro Q4. Then we have Reverb. Here we have paid FabFilter Pro R2. Maybe there is Pro R3, I'm not sure, but here is also Aurora, and there are also like Valhalla Reverb, Valhalla Room, Vintage Room, and here is free alternative Raum, and this is really cool plugin. There is really lot of great presets, and here this is called Aural Reverb, which is also really great reverb. Then we have delay. Here we have Cascadia by iZotope and Echo Boy, which these tools are just amazing. I use them very often. And free alternative is Geometrix and Valhalla Supermassive. Then we have powerful synths, so this is a bit outdated, but it's Serum. Now we have Serum 2, which is really the best. And here is Faceplant, which is for those who really want to be complex with sound design. And here is free alternative. This is called Vital, and here you can do basses, drums, synths, leads, effects, whatever you want. It's almost similar to Serum, but with few limitations, but it also has some features that Serum doesn't have. Then we have limiters. On the paid side, we have iZotope Ozone and FabFilter Pro L2, and on the free side, we have Frontier, and here we have LVC audio. This unfortunately isn't for Mac users, so if you are on Windows, this is a really great alternative to FabFilter Pro L2. It looks kind of similar, and it also has these modes, which are also very close to FabFilter Pro L2. I use it with my students who can't afford FabFilter Pro L2, so it's really cool. Then we have clippers. Then there is this standard clip that I use on my drums or pre-master bass, and here on the right side we have Initial Clipper by Initial Audio, and then here we have When Audio Free Clip. And as I said, you don't need to search for these tools. It's on the link below this video. In the free community there is the Notion template with all of these free alternatives. So here we have Soundtoys Decapitator and FabFilter Saturn. This is like a saturation distortion, and this is more like a saturation not too extreme. And here we have the free alternatives. M-Saturator, well, there is this awesome feature Compender, which helps you preserve some dynamics. And here Klanghelm, I'm not sure how it's called, but it's saturation. And then there is this Omicide. All of these are free. This is even like a multiband saturation, and this is also multiband saturation. If you want to preserve your sub clean, then this is great. Then we have compressors. So here on the paid side we have Distressor from UAD, and there's also like a Slate Distressor. Then we have Pro MB from FabFilter, and on the free side we have again Clive Audio. I think it's called X Max, and here we have TDR Nova, which can do like a multiband compressor for us. So then we have multiband compressor on the paid side. We have Pro MB from FabFilter. I use this for controlling my basses, and recently I prefer using iZotope Neutron, Neutron 5, which allows me to choose from different types of compressors, and I just like how it looks like visually. And then on the free side we have TDR Nova, which allows us to do the multiband compression as well. Then we have analyzers, and on the left side we have Insight, which allows us to see loudness, levels, stereo, spectrogram, and also spectrum. And here we have Oscillos Megascope, which is oscilloscope. If you put it on your drums and you put it on individual channels of you put it on kick, clap, head, then you can see each sound in a different color, and you can see how it looks like when it's stacked together, and you can see waveform, and that way you can see micro peaks, and you also see whether your kick isn't very good and whether it needs some improvement. And on the right side we have Span Analyzer, which is free, and Wave Observer, which is a really cool oscilloscope which allows you to see the waveform nicely. And if you'd like to see LUFS, there is a Yulin meter which allows you to control the loudness when you do mastering. Then we have some special plugins. This is Soothe 2, which smoothens out the resonances. You can do spectral sidechain compression, so whatever frequencies are coming to the Soothe, it can carve space in the sound based on what frequencies are coming into that. And then we have Shaperbox. It isn't only like the volume shaper, there are different features, and there's also like texture where you can layer something. They are really like, it's a very experimental plugin and you can do crazy stuff with that. But on the free side we have Wavegroove Vasteus, and for the sidechain controlling and for shaping sound with the volume shaper we have Flux Mini 2. Then for real instruments, here we have Addictive Drums. Also there is like a Superior Drummer, which is also very good. And on the free side we have ML Drums, which is like a bank of samples, and you can adjust length, strength of the drums, and it's really good if you want to have some real instruments and if you want to have it more like not so synthetic and you want to add a little bit of liveness to it. Then below we have Kontakt Player. The paid version comes, or like the paid banks, they are like West Africa, so you have African drums, you have orchestra, and the Kontakt is also free, and it comes with a complete start bundle, where here you can see that there are some synths, also there are some real life instruments, so it's really worth trying the download. Then we have bundles. For paid we have Isotope bundle. There you have some mixing tools, some creative tools and mastering tools. Then FabFilter bundle, again for mastering, mixing and creative effects. And on the right side we have Melda free bundle. There you have like 34 plugins. Then we have Hoffa bundle, then the complete start, and then Plugin Alliance or Alliance, 20 free plugins. You really don't need to spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars on plugins if you can download these free bundles. And mainly you can use plugins from your DAW. And you don't need to even download any plugins. It's only about diving into the plugins that are in your DAW and not getting distracted by you know, the YouTube videos that are like, this awesome plugin will make your song fucking perfect, or whatever, you know, and you then have a huge desire to get the plugin, even though the plugin already can be in your DAW, just packaged differently. This is it for plugins. If you want to get links for these plugins, then below this video there's link for the community, and there is the file with the plugins. To be organized, use templates, and with templates you can use the folders which I show you in the beginning of the project. You can use folders, you can use colors, names, and you can also not only organize within your project, but you can also organize projects. When you work on a lot of projects and then you want to finish something, it can be quite difficult to find the project files that you've been working on. So really having organized files can be a huge time saver when you are looking for something. And then organize your tracks in progress and ideas for easy access. What I used to be organized is called Confusion Sketchbook or Producer Sketchbook if you download the free template from the free community. Here I track all of my ideas and ideas that are in progress and things that I'm working on and things that are finished. And when I create some idea, I can select rating of the idea from 1 to 10. I can select what phase it's in, when I created it, whether I want to finish it or not, what subgenre it is, and what style or what vibe the song has. And when I'm working on it and I'm thinking maybe about EP, I can then select EP or LP or single. And then here I can put my SoundCloud link and I can track versions of the project. So when I take, for instance, this one, you can see all of the versions of the project and I can listen to them and take some notes about how I use it. So this way I never get stuck, because when I don't have any idea, I can actually go to this Notion template, I can click on it and I can listen, and when I feel like I want to work on this idea, I just move it into discovery phase where I explore more of this idea. If you want to go deeper into this organization, then you can watch this video right here. If you download it, then here you have in the free community, you have access to it. You just click on get it in English or get it in Czech. Here you can see that you have access to the template. We want to have specific skills in order to be professional drum and bass producers, and without these skills it's kind of hard. It is possible, but it's hard, it takes too long, and it can be overwhelming. So here are my skills that I try to improve on. I try to have them as habit. I try to really improve in these things. So first of all, it's focus. And focus, you know what it is. I'm sure you probably take your phone during this video a few times, and you also have been thinking about your dinner, or you've been thinking about what you've been doing in your work, or whether you should smoke some cigarette or something. But focus is really just having some task and paying attention to that specific task. And what helps me the most to really don't get distracted by my thoughts is meditating daily for 10 minutes. I started meditating about 10 years ago, and I now meditate daily, and now I meditate like 2 times a day, every morning, every evening. I will definitely record some video about meditation in future on this channel. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and you will not miss this video, because it's really, really important to meditate. Meditation for me is like cleaning my teeth. It's proven that meditation can change your brain after few weeks of doing meditation daily, and it helps you to perceive your reality better. It helps you to be more mindful about your thoughts, about your actions, and about your progress. Your action step from now: try to take 10 minutes a day before bed or after waking up. Just focus on your breath or on your body, and if you are not sure how to do it, then you can message me in the free community below this video and I will tell you more about it. Then we have flow state, and flow state is something that you work on some task and everything feels like the time just stopped, and you just can't stop with what you are doing, and you are really enjoying and you are really having good time. And in order to get to flow state, you need to avoid distractions and challenge yourself a bit. So if you do something that is too easy, you might get bored, but when you do something that is too hard, it might be too overwhelming. So you need to find a balance between doing something that is kind of challenging, but not too challenging, and mainly not using phone and no distractions. And usually I get into flow state after like 15 minutes of working on a specific task, and then when I really get into flow state and I'm not distracted, I can work for 4 hours without wanting to take a break. Then discipline is really doing the hard work, especially when you don't want to. You probably know that you should do some music production today, but you just don't feel like you want to do it, so you don't do it. Or maybe you know it with gym or exercise, that you know that you should exercise today, but you say that maybe today I have a little bit low energy, so fuck it, I will not go today. So Discipline is really doing the hard work, especially when you don't want to do it. Consistency is just doing specific tasks every day for long term. So do the work you need to do to succeed every single day. The next thing is patience. You really need to take your time to make the song sound professional. You can definitely make song in 10 days, but what makes it professional is the focus on details. And sometimes when you focus for 10 days straight on one song, it's very hard to zoom out and to really spot the little details that can be improved. So sometimes you just need to take longer breaks to really, when you get back from the break, you know what isn't good, what you don't like anymore, and you also need to be patient with that not every song will be improved in one session. It just takes some time, and also learning requires patience. You can learn music production very quick if you have someone who can tell you how to do it and who will tell you that you are doing these mistakes and this is what you could do better. But if you do it by yourself, it takes a lot of time, and you need to accept that, because when you will desperately want to make your songs professional, it's not overnight. You usually need to finish a lot of tunes before it starts to sound professional, and before you really train your ears how to listen to the sounds to make it sound good. Then learning from mistakes, and that leads us that we need to make mistakes in order to learn. Without mistakes you probably won't learn anything. If you are able to identify where did you made a mistake, then you can unlearn the mistake next time you do the task without mistake, and like this you learn. The next skill is ability to zoom out. So taking breaks to zoom out on the tunes and spot mistakes, or to zoom out on what are your actions during whole month. It seems like a huge deal to really think about what happened a month ago, when you barely can remember what happened yesterday. But it takes also some practice. It's skill, and skills are built with repetition. So if you consistently think about what you are doing good and what you are doing bad, then you get better at it, and you will be able to really look at yourself as a machine, and you can see, oh, this machine is doing this wrong for a whole month. I should repair it here to make it work. And this is really what got me where I am now. So zooming out is a really awesome skill. Then honesty. Not every tune will be good, and you need to be honest to yourself, and you need to ask, would you listen to this tune? Do you really enjoy the tune? Even if you spend whole year on it, at the end it sounds bad. You need to be honest, and if it doesn't sound as you would like it to sound, then you might spend some time on it, or you might completely scrape the tune. You just need to be honest to yourself. That's something that really helped me too. Then networking. Having friends isn't something that can be pushed or rushed. It should be natural. So just try to be friends with people from music industry, DJs, promoters, other producers, because you can get into great opportunities. You can get nice collaboration, or someone who you are friends with can organize an event and can invite you. So you never know what opportunity can come. So just be honest to yourself, and don't try to be someone you are not, and just be natural. That's what I do, and it's where I'm trying to get better. Then next skill is ability to say no. When you don't feel the tune, just let it go. When you don't feel like you want to take the opportunity and it isn't 100% yes, then just don't take it, and that's that. Then overcoming creative blocks. when you deal with no motivation and zero ideas, or when you do sound design and you just don't know what wavetable to pick or what effects you can put there, you need to learn how to deal with this. So you can find some fun ways how you can deal with creative blocks, like giving yourself some limitations, like I can't use sine waves today, or I can't use FM modulation, or today I just don't feel like I want to do sound design, so I will go through all of the wavetables that I have there, or I watch some tutorials how to be better at sound design, or I listen to music to get some inspiration what I will create next time. And this is okay too. You just need to learn how to deal with creative blocks, and you need to recognize when these blocks occur. These are my habits that I do consistently, and I try to do them every single day. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Life is life, and even though I'm really organized and I really track everything, sometimes I just can't do the habits, and that's totally okay. But these habits were life-changing for me, and first habit was ear training. Ear training helped me to hear frequencies better, to hear compression, to hear distortion on my master. And ear training can be done in two ways. One is that you finish songs, you are comparing with references, and this way you train your ears, because you finish a lot of songs, you learn how they should sound professionally, and that's the one way how you can learn ear training. The second way how you can learn ear training is with doing Sound Gym. Sound Gym is a platform which you can use to train your ears. So here you have some daily workouts, which is set of some exercises, but here you can actually, I'm gonna quickly show you. I'm not affiliated with this company, but I just really like to use it every single day, and it really helped me, and it really helped my students as well. And what it does is here it will give me some frequencies that are boosted, and I need to identify them. Awesome way how you can practice stereo image, balance memory, how you can hear compression, difference. You can learn how to hear difference half dB in the levels, which is absolutely amazing, and it's even free. And for free you have like free games, I think, and then if you want to have it paid, then there's like 20 games or something, and they are really amazing. Then another thing is splurging and creating short ideas. I usually set my timer, which is this like kitchen timer. I set it on 10 minutes, usually in the evening, where my energy is really on like 2%, sometimes on 0, and I just try to create some cool idea, and I do this every single day, and then I put it into my Notion tracker where I keep all of my ideas, and then I never run out of ideas, because I can go through 100 or even more hundreds of ideas, and when I find good idea, I can extend it into full song. And in the splurging or creating short ideas, you just focus on speed and not on quality. You just really don't want to get stuck on tweaking some preset or something like that, or doing mixing. You really want to get the idea out of your head into the project. Then melody practice. I like to analyze hit songs or songs that are successful, and I try to recreate the melody in my project. I'm not very consistent with this. I try to do it every day, but it's sometimes it's way over my limits. So sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But even though if you do it like 3 times a week, that's like 12 times a month. And when you can analyze 12 songs in 1 month, in long term, it just grows like crazy. Then finishing songs. I've tried to have multiple habits during my journey, but sometimes I got too stuck for months on maybe content creation, so I would rather create content instead of finishing songs, and then I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have any songs now, so I need to stop doing content, and I really need to learn how to balance everything. And now really every morning I take, whether it's 30 minutes or 4 hours, I take it for finishing songs, and that's the most important thing in my day, like finishing songs, because that's what gets me better. Not watching tutorials, not watching courses, not reading books, but actually finishing songs, expanding from short idea to finished track. That's where I learn the most, and that's where I can get unique. Then next, organizing and cleaning up files. I try to be organized in every project, and I try to do some organization or cleaning up my files like once a month at least. When I downloaded way too many some images or some samples, and I didn't put it when I was on the rush, I didn't put it into the right folder, I just clean up my files. Then doing meditation, as I said, in the skills, in order to focus, you need to be able to control your mind. So whenever you are working on a task, whether it's music production, whether it's learning, whether it's eating dinner, your mind can give you hundreds of thoughts and ideas, but when you learn how to control your mind, and when you learn how to get from distraction back to the task, then you become limitless. And really, that's like the best habit that you can that's like the best habit that you can acquire. And no matter what meditation you do, it has many different benefits, whether you say yourself some mantra for 10 minutes, or whether you stare into blank wall, or whether you just focus on your breath for 10 minutes, or whether you scan your body from up to down. It really doesn't matter. Just pick whatever meditation you like. Then doing sound design. And this is the next thing, is sound design. Sound design is really something that it's good to understand it, and it's good to know how you can make your own sounds, because in drum and bass, and especially neurofunk and jump up, if you have unique sounds and if you can use them in a simple way, which is fun and it's relatable to a lot of people, it can really give you unique advantage. 1 to 3 presets a day keeps doctor away, but really if you do 1 preset a day and you do it for a month, you end up with 30 presets, and when you use them across your songs, then you build your signature sound, people will recognize your sound, and it's a win-win. Listening to music that inspire you for better intuition, meaning that when you listen to songs that sound professional, you internalize it, how they should sound, and then you have like an inner feeling that, yeah, I should maybe use this melody because I feel it in my body that it's good melody. And this is really something I honestly like. Listen to music that isn't mine like once a week when I have some technical tasks to do. Otherwise I don't listen to music that much, only when I DJ. So really taking some time to listening music that inspires you or that you love can be really great if you do this long term. Then 7 to 9 hours of sleep a day for creativity and learning. Without sleep, you can definitely make songs, but it's hard to focus. It's hard to learn from mistakes. It's hard to comprehend the information. Maybe now you are sleep deprived and you forget everything you learned in this video. So maybe now if you're sleep deprived, then go to bed and try to sleep at least for 8 hours and watch this video again tomorrow, and then try to summarize what you learned before you go to bed and sleep again for 8 hours, and maybe you comprehend more information. So really 7 to 9 hours is a must-have after meditation, maybe before meditation, because enough sleep is really probably the single most important thing. And as a DJs, it can be really difficult and it can be really underestimated. So sleep should be your number one priority, then meditation, and then creating ideas and finishing songs. All of it is important, but sleep is the most important. Then self-reflection. I do self-reflection almost every day. Almost, because on weekends sometimes I try to be off my phone, and I know I could do it on like paper, but I like to have it in my notes app, and then I analyze my whole year after the year ends. And what it is, it actually, at the end of the day, I have like 5 different questions. So here you can see that I have specific questions that I answer every day before I go to bed. I talk more about it in this video, but basically here is space for free writing. So sometimes I write 1 sentence, sometimes I write for 30 minutes. You know, I may have some prompt like, am I happy with my financial situation, or am I happy with my music that I'm releasing recently, or am I happy with what habits I do every day? And this way you really can analyze what you are doing wrong and what you are doing good. Then here are things like that I'm grateful for, what is the one, like what positive trait I showed today, was there something I avoided, how did it affect me, did I take any steps to confront it. Then improvements for tomorrow, what could I have done better today. You don't necessarily do it for your personal life, you can, but you can also do it for your music production sessions. Like maybe today I could avoid distractions while working on my music. Maybe today I could tell my girlfriend that I don't want to be distracted for 2 hours. And then what's the one thing I want to focus on tomorrow? So I usually set my calendar before bed, but here you can clarify what you should do tomorrow. Like if you are not sure what to do, then this is the right space to think about it. Then what was the most story-worthy, surprising or impactful moment of the day? So it can be like 5-second moment where you just felt some excitement, or when you've been walking alone and you've been watching the sun and you realized, oh, I love going outside and I don't like to work all day, I just like to enjoy the sun. And this can be one realization that when you look at it like after 2-3 months, maybe you've been grinding too hard for 2 months and this was the exact thing you needed to see one day. So that's why I use this. And also it helps me to actually keep track of my memories, because sometimes when I'm too goal oriented, I keep forgetting about things that happen to me. So this is really great way how to have it in a treasure. Then what significant things happened today? Best things I have learned today. So when you learn some new technique for your music production, it's great. When you learn that you should have these habits, then you try to recall from your memory what you learned, what habits you should do in order to be professional drum and bass producer, and that way they will stay in your memory longer. And this way you can actually see whether you paid attention or not. And then how can I apply it, and what did I dream about last night. And you can do this every day. I do this every single day before bed. Sometimes, as I said, on the weekends I don't do it. Then you can also do weekly self-reflection. So at the end of the week, how was my week? And monthly self-reflection, how was my month? And quarterly, how was my 3 months? So this is really the ability to zoom out and to see yourself as a machine, to see how many results the machine created. Another thing, DJ performance. Maybe you just want to be a music producer and not DJ. If you are someone who really want to get better at DJing as well, it's worth to have DJ performance as a habit. I now DJ every single day for 1 hour except weekends, and I can really see huge progress when I really take 1 hour to really DJ. But I do music production and DJing full time, so you may have a full-time job and you may be limited with time. Maybe you have just 2 hours a day for music. So in that case, I would do like some split, like 3 days DJing, 4 days music production, something like that. So I would randomize the session throughout the week so that I improve in both things. And then daily calendar to do the most important tasks. I usually use my Apple Calendar, where I track all of my tasks, routine, songs that I'm finishing, my activities, lunch, dinner, meditation. No need to dive deep into my calendar. You can find video about setting calendar on my channel if you want. So having right mindset is something that without it, you will just be stuck on one place, and you will not know what to do. You need to understand that there is growth mindset and fixed mindset. Growth mindset believes that you can learn anything you want, and fixed mindset thinks that you can't learn anything because you are inherently dumb or something. So you should have growth mindset. If you can't do something, say I can learn how to do it, or I can't do it yet because I learn, instead of I can't do it or I'm dumb. You can really do anything you want. You just need to eliminate the person which is here, which is like a evil part or the lazy part that says that you are inherently, or you have some belief that you can't do it because something. You just need to believe that you can learn anything and you can really do anything you want. You need to understand that rejections happen, not only rejections from labels but also rejections from people. When you release some song and you believe that everyone will like it, the song, when you produce the song, you have a feeling like, oh my god, what I will do with my success, but then you release it and no one cares. And you need to accept that no one knows you yet, and you might feel like people don't want to hear your songs, but people need to learn slowly, and they need to discover your music, and you can't push them to listen to your music. And also, when you finish your first song or songs and you send it to some big labels, believing that they will take it, believing is great, but you just need to accept that they might not even reply. They're just something that is real, and even after 10 emails with new songs, labels just don't reply. You need to accept that because it's completely normal. Then you need to understand that success isn't overnight. Most of the people that you see blowing up, been working and grinding and been improving every day, or been really working hard on themselves, and it just isn't that now you decide that you want to become professional producer. Tomorrow you can feel like that, and you can do actions like that in order to be successful and to be professional, but just don't push it and accept it that it just takes some time before you see some success. The next thing, you want to keep learning and improving. Without it, you will be probably stuck in one place and you will not see any progress. The next thing, you want to think long term. And if you don't think long term, what might happen is that you just focus on things that will be good now, but in future it doesn't make any sense. So if you know that in 30 years you want to have a big house, nice car, you want to only walk and you just want to have small house or small apartment on a village where it's calm, or whether you want to be in a city where you DJ every single day, then if you think about this in long term, if you think about what you would like to have in future, then you know what actions you need to take in order to make it happen and to make the things sustainable. You want to set goals, and without goals you're probably flowing throughout your life, trying for a week, then something happens in your life and then you not try, then after 3 months you get new motivation and then you try it for a week again, and like this you are just randomly flowing through life and you just wait for what happened. Maybe you wait for magic star which will fall from sky and suddenly you will have success. It doesn't work like that. You need to set goals and you want to make it clear what exactly you want to achieve in what time. So first of all, you want to visualize your 10-30 year goal. It's really hard to think about it, but you can at least have some imagination about what would you like to achieve one day. It can be a really stupid big goal where isn't exactly clear what steps you can take in order to achieve that goal. But then you can set more realistic but still big goal, like 5-year goal, where you can actually start to create some strategies. But the most important goal is 1-year goal, 3-month goal, and 1-month goal. If you know what is your 1-month goal, let's say you want to release 12 tunes a year, then you know what you need to do every month in order to achieve your dream outcome. So then you know what to do every day and what to do every week in order to achieve the 1-month goal, and so on and so on. If you'd like to know more about this, then check out my videos on this channel, or you can also talk with me in the community below this video, and I can give you more information how you can set the goals properly. The next mindset thing is 15 minutes a day is better than 2 hours a week. So if you do something for at least 15 minutes a day, in 1 week you make significant progress. In 1 month you made huge progress. Everyone can find 15 to 30 minutes a day, and sometimes it's hard to find 2 hours a week. And when you are not experienced with setting calendar and prioritizing your tasks, then it's really difficult to have music production in your daily habits. But if you really take just 15 minutes, that you can wake up, you can make some music, and then you can go to work. You can do music production for 15 minutes every single day. You can every time find 15 minutes. In 15 minutes you can actually do a lot of stuff on unfinished projects, and even if it's like extending loop to a whole section, or even if it's like working with automations or tweaking some sounds, in 15 minutes you can really do a lot, and when you do it consistently it adds up. So I know people who just use AI for entertainment and don't use it smartly. So you can actually use AI like ChatGPT for testing your knowledge, to be your therapeutic, or to self-reflect, or to find clarity on what steps you need to take, and you can even ask it to explain basic concepts that are hard to understand. You can write explain compression like if I was 12 years old, and that way you can easily understand it, and you don't need to dive into complex YouTube videos, and that way you can easily understand it. So what you can use ChatGPT for is, for instance, you can use this prompt, help me find content for promoting my music that I can be comfortable with and do it consistently. Ask me a set of questions to provide solution for my situation, or you can copy transcripts from YouTube videos if you don't understand the YouTube video, and you can ask it, help me understand this video, give me notes and action steps, and this is really game changer. And next thing, help me find track names for my EP. It's about exploring space and eating bananas, something like that, and it will help you to create some names. It's great for brainstorming. Also, I'm struggling with consistency, create plan for my situation so I can achieve X goal. And also, after every prompt, you can ask it to ask you some questions so it have enough data so it can give you the answers that you are looking for. Maybe you're just starting out, or maybe you already have some experience, some accounts, but this might be a good reminder for you for how you can do it. So first of all, you want to create your artist name that resonates with you, and you can even use ChatGPT to create a name with you. You can give it some ideas, and it can help you to give you some suggestions, like give me 100 name suggestions. And you want to connect the name with things that you love and make music and content about it. Let's say you like plants, you like playing piano, you like Harry Potter, you like neurofunk. So you can put it into your bio, and you can have name which is compatible with things that you enjoy. And then when you promote yourself, you promote your music, you can actually show those things that you love, and you can use them very often. You want to also find your style that you vibe, you know, images, designs, colors, emotions, and this is something that you know very well what you like. You know, you like white, black t-shirts, whatever. You like specific brands. Everything you is you, and no one can steal your style and your personality. So you are your unique brand. So just be yourself and show yourself as you are, you know, because you can really be, because you are unique, and you just need to show it. So then you want to create Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, Bandcamp with your artist name and use it just for your music. You don't want to post, you can, but it's a bit counterproductive, because you want to find the right people for your music. And if you don't post about your music, and you post about all the time about cars or about going on mushrooms or whatever, then you will attract the wrong people. So you just want to connect people with you and with your music, and you want to share their everything around your music. If you are not sure how to create Spotify, you need to use DistroKid, or when a label releases your song, they will create the Spotify for you. So Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, Bandcamp, you can create it by yourself, but Spotify, that needs to be created by DistroKid, or by when you release something, the distributor will create the Spotify for you. So you also want to use similar design, colors for branding on all of your platforms. So try to match your fonts and colors and designs on all of these platforms. Then you want to post videos, images from your music world and how you work on your music, I will show you some examples where you can create content about. So here are some tips how you can create content. You know, here you can record process of how you've been working on song. You can put there some cool clips, some B-roll footages. Then here you just record yourself how you are performing, and with nice professional colors and nice background. Here you can show some unique skill that no one else has. You can really just take camera and record yourself. You don't have to talk into the camera. Here again, you can record yourself how you play, and you can put there some quote. Again, here you can record yourself how you're performing, and you can find some POV moment. Again, here something funny, or maybe something like you know, congrats, you just found artist from Czech Republic, feel free to follow me or something and tell more about yourself. Then you can record your studio. If you are funny and creative, you can do something like Vengeance. You know, you can take sounds from environment and you can create something cool. Then here, just some quote or just some overlay text with your music. Then here you can record how the song that you made, how it came into life. Very interesting to watch. Then here again, record your process. Then recording yourself from background as you are sitting in studio, or you really don't need to even talk in the videos. And look at those likes, you know. He's just sitting, and there is just some POV moment, and there is interesting background or foreground, you know, and that's it. And it not may go viral, or it may go viral, you never know, but it's just content, you know. Then here again, just some quote. It can be 7-second long video, and that's it. And look at those likes and views. It's crazy. You can record yourself how you are performing. Then again, you can record yourself how you are performing. How you are playing with scenes. Then again, yourself from background. You know, you did some flip. You know, like I turned rock song into drum and bass, something like that, and you don't need to talk into camera, you can just record yourself from background. And again, here performing. If you DJ a lot, then tell someone to record 2 videos while you are playing, and again, it's content. Here again, some performance, or create how the song was made. no one's talking on the video, you know. They just it's just recording of the people in the room working on music, and no one needs to talk or do eye contact with the camera. Here again, just interesting guy in mask and playing some bangers, you know. And look at those likes, you know. And it's probably organic, you know. You didn't pay for an ad or something. Again, it's like very short video, and it has like 49,000 likes and probably like million watches, or million views. Yeah. Again, here just recording laptop with nice background, something catchy, you know. And this is done in like 20 seconds, and then you add just some text and that's it. And you don't need to dance on camera, you really don't. Then here again, 4,000 likes almost, and just recording laptop with some TV, and it looks like there is some road, you know, and it's just some relatable text which describes your music and which helps people to understand what it's about, or what should they feel, or what do you feel, or what do you feel when you created the music. Again, here in this case, you just need to find what's authentic to you and what you feel comfortable doing, and ChatGPT can really help you with finding ways how you can create content, because you can say, ask me questions that will help me to find the best content format which I can stick to, and I don't have to cringe and I feel myself, and give me 10 questions that will help us to find the best content. And then you can try different type of content that you will be comfortable with doing. Then here again, recording yourself from background, 65,000 likes. Recording of the process. He doesn't even need to show his face. You can just stare at your camera and record your DAW. That's all you need to get some attention. And like this, you can attract the right people for your music. You know, it takes a few videos, and if you create videos like this and you post it once a week, you can find 5 minutes to create video like this and take some time for it. It really isn't that hard, and it can give you a lot of new people that can listen to your music. If you really don't know what to do, then take 5 songs that has been released this week or this month and create something like this. You also provide people with some value because you give them cool tracks and which they didn't know about, and that way they will want to follow you. So you don't have to be like selfish that you know, here is my gear, blah blah blah. But hey people, here are 5 tunes that are fucking sick. This is for you, and if you'd like to get more of it, you can follow me, and you deserve the follow actually. Then this is me, and you can see 2,500 likes, and usually I do this every month, and people have to comment in order to get track list. I do this sometimes I put there the track list, but you know, I usually put here 8 tunes, sometimes 5 tunes, and if you released your own songs every month, then every month you can sneak in your tune, and like this you can promote it, and it's crazy easy. You don't even need to have these lights. You can just turn on your lamp, and that's it, and that can be totally okay. Just try to find a specific type of content that is easy for you to make, that you can stay consistent with it at least once a week. 3 times a week is the best, but if you can do it once a week, it's totally awesome, and like this you can grow your audience. So once you finished your songs, and once you have released a song, you want to decide whether you release it for free on your own SoundCloud through DistroKid to get it on Spotify and to get some money for streams, or whether you contact some label, and whether you wanna go which option you wanna take. When I first started, I uploaded my songs onto SoundCloud. It was like 5-6 songs, and when I felt like it's pretty okay now, I could contact some labels. I felt confident that I can contact some smaller labels, so I send it to some smaller label. You know, I send them email with like, hi, I'm from Czech Republic, I make crazy neurofunk with unique sound design. I have 4 tunes that I would like to get signed on your label. Please let me know if you would like to release these tunes, if you like them, and thank you for your time. Best regards, Confusion. That's it. And like this, you may get reply or you may not get reply. You need to accept that rejections happen, or that labels just ignore some no-name artists. It happens. Then if you want to release it by yourself, then you want to learn how to use Hypedit, how to promote your music, you know, which we will talk about in a bit. Then let's say you finished song, then you should give yourself some time to promote the song. You know, you finish it, you can also, when you work on the song, you can record the process of working on the song, and you can upload it on your social media. And once it's finished, you can say, in 1 month I will release this song, somehow not so salesy, you know, just try to naturally say like that you've been working on something that will be released very soon. And then once you have a release date, then you want to prepare your audience for the release. So you want to tell them that the release day is this date, then in 14 days, then in 1 week, then 1 day before, and then once it's released, you want to spam every single day until you have about 10k streams on each platform. And after that, start promoting new music. That's usually what I do, and I'm looking still for ways how to be more successful with my music, to get it to larger audience organically. But I really found myself using Hypedit for promoting my songs, because when someone wants to download the tune, they have to repost the tune, they have to follow me on Spotify and SoundCloud. If you wanna know more about it, then here's this video. But if the song is good, then you don't need to do any hard promotion and it will promote by itself. So really first think about making good music and then think about how to promote it. Because if the music isn't very good, it will be really hard to promote it organically. Of course, if you have money, then you can pay for ads and you can spend tons of money on it and you may get few thousands of streams, but once you stop paying for the ads, no one will listen to the tune and your streams will stop. So if the song is good, people will organically share it to their stories and it will be actually really easy to promote songs like this. And also don't be afraid to promote your old music. If you released some song 4 years ago, it doesn't mean that the people that started to follow you now hear that song. So actually you can promote it every single week on your stories or in your reels. And sometimes what can happen is that some of your old songs can actually blow up again. Really don't be afraid to promote your old music. And then you wanna be consistent, so try to release every 4 to 6 weeks. This is enough time to make the songs good. I tried different release times, like I tried to release every week, every month, and every maybe 3 months, but really 4 to 6 weeks, it's you can finish song in 1 month, and once you are waiting for release day, you have enough time to make new music, to promote all of the music that is in progress or that is waiting to be released. So there's enough time, and also there's enough for people to not get overwhelmed with your music and to really support your music when it's out. And we get into the end of our roadmap to becoming professional drum and bass producer. All you need to do now is to just start and don't wait until you learn everything about music production. You will learn everything about music production on your journey, throughout whole journey, where you finish tracks and you learn from mistakes. So start, then learn. Don't learn, then start. Was there something in the roadmap that you would like to see more in depth? Let me know in the comments, because I can record videos about it. Let me know what you want to see on this channel and I'll be happy to make the content for you. And if you'd like to connect with me and other drum and bass producers, download some free stuff and learn faster and more effectively, then go on school.com/dmbproducers, and there you can find my free community, where it's actually a really fun way how you can learn music production with other people from around the world. And if you found this video helpful, it would really mean a lot to me if you share this to some producers that are looking for help with their music and they are thinking about starting with music production. It would really mean a lot to me if you share it with other producers. Thank you for watching, and I see you in my next video.